All right, so let's take a look at example 6. In this one, we will be back in a minor key. So this one will resolve to A minor, starts in A minor, ends in A minor, and just because it starts on a certain chord doesn't mean that's the key you're in. So in the future, just know that just because the first chord of the song, it could be the 4 chord, it could be the flat 7. It's not always the key you're in, so be careful and listen to the resolve. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with the number thing, that's a Nashville number system where each chord gets a number for the key. You can check out the music theory course on that one because I go into that pretty in depth for just the major scale and the Nashville number system. So here we have an A minor, a G, a D minor, and an F. It will resolve to the A minor. Now, back to the Nashville number thing for a minute. This progression would be, if you were going to write a chart for it, it would be written in the key of C major. So even though there's not a C chord in this song, the relative minor is A minor. And all of these chords function in A minor and C major. And the Nashville number system writes everything in the relative major. So this chart would be written in the key of C major. So you would have a minor 6, a 5, a minor 2, a 4. So even though there's not a C chord in there, it would be written in C major. But the song is in A minor. And if you look at, I think it's example 2 back here. Yeah, example 2 is in C sharp minor. So the relative major for C sharp minor is E major. And on number 6, the relative major for A minor is C major. So that relative relationship is really important. If you don't understand it, that's okay. You can check out that course I was telling you about, the music theory course. But back to number 2, if we're in the key of E, that C sharp minor is a minor 6, the B is a 5 chord, the A is a 4 chord, the E is a 1, and then it resolved to the C sharp minor. So in that instance, the relative major chord is present with the E chord. In number 6, the relative major for A minor, which is the C chord, is not present. So I did that on purpose to give you a chance to hear some minor keys, and we're going to do a couple more after this one. The number 7 is kind of a little bit of an ear bender, but it's nothing crazy. So if you're interested in the music theory thing, check out that other course, the Nashville number system and major scale music theory thing. But for now, let's get back to number 6. And what you're listening for, I think we're going to start, let's go ahead and start in the middle of the middle of the neck. So we need an A, which is, we're looking for this neighborhood. This A is on the 1st string, 5th fret. If you look at your neck diagram, there's A. We play the right shape for minor. Look at that. Now we're looking for a G in this area. We have a G here, and we have a G here. So in this neighborhood, you could grab either one of these. You could go down to this. So this A minor, if you move down, this G, it's a similar shape to the minor you just played, but we need to get the major 3rd in there. So this would be minor, this would be major, just because of one note. So A minor, G major. I'll probably play the G up here. So I'm looking for this G on the 2nd string. Play the appropriate shape for a major chord with a root on the 2nd string. You get that D shape. And then we need a D minor. So I'll use this D on the 3rd string, 7th fret. And the right shape for a minor chord with the root on the 3rd string is this. And then an F So check this out. In the middle of a D minor chord, there's my F. So I'm looking for that. Notice also in the F chord, there's my A. So the difference between a D minor chord and an F chord is one note, that D. And that C is in the F. So that's that relative relationship again. D minor is the minor 6 chord in the key of F. So that common tone between the two chords is something to listen for. And one of the reasons I'm playing it here is I want to play around with this C as the low note for my A minor. Goes up to a D for my G chord as the low note. That D is the same low note, but now I have a D minor chord. And then I return back to that F and then A minor. If you want to go down here for the G, that's fine. So we're going to start in the 5th fret, and then I want to move up to this neighborhood. So we'll be around the 10th fret. So here's my A, 2nd string, play the right minor shape. Here's my G, 12th fret, play the right shape for a root on the 3rd string, right? And then I'm going to play my D at the 10th fret on the 1st string, which is the same as my A minor moved up. So I've got A minor at the 10th fret, G at the 12th, 10th fret, D minor, and then I'm going to play my F at the 10th. So I'm moving that G down. And notice has the same low note as my D minor chord. So I'm kind of playing around with keeping that note constant. So we'll start here, go up to the 10th fret, and then we're going to end down here. So we'll have A minor, which is, if you know your A minor chord, this is the top 3 strings, G, our D minor chord, and our F. Okay, and the pattern we're going to use, I'm going to do this kind of muted thing. Let me turn sideways here. So I'm going to hit the 3rd string, and then I'm going to hit the first 2 strings together. So, and if you just strum it if you want, if the muting is difficult, I would encourage you to try muting because it's harder than people think, and it's pretty common. So again, you're putting your hand down. You're not clamping down because it'll get too clicky like this. Like the pitch will disappear and you'll just get that percussive clicky sound. So mute and then just kind of back it off a little. So I'm touching the strings with this hand, but I'm not pushing in. So I'm just kind of like resting there. And if that's hard for you, it's okay, but it's worth trying. And I'm going to do that all the way through. So for every neighborhood, I'll mute. So 5th fret, 10th fret, open. Okay, let's give it a try. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, Last time. Move. Last time. low. Okay, so for that last one, because of the key it was in, I thought it would be fun to play around with kind of starting in the middle, going high to add some intensity, and then to go low because of the minor key, having it sound kind of moody and dark. So kind of like a little haunting and suspenseful, especially when we got up to here, and then dropping down. So that's what I was thinking anyway, but that just gives you an idea of how you can play around with building a pretty simple part that can really affect the mood of the tune, of the song, depending on where you're playing, and obviously, you know, what you play, what rhythm you choose to play. So now, let's try something new. We're gonna take that low thing we were doing, and we're gonna take it up an octave higher. So our A minor chord will be this at the 14th fret. So A, the appropriate minor shape. I'm going to go down for this G and play the appropriate major shape. I'm going to go back up looking for a D on the second string, play that minor shape with the root on the second string, and then I'm going to stay here for my F at the 13th fret. Okay? So A minor, G, D minor, F. And then we're gonna go down here where we just were, A minor. I'll probably go down for the G this time instead of going up. And then I'll go up for the F. Sorry, D minor. So I need a A minor, G. I'll go up for the D minor. I'll stay up there for the F. And then I'll go A minor. I'll go down for the G, up for the D minor, and then F. And then the rhythm that we'll play, we're not going to come in on beat 1. I think we've done this before, where we go, we'll let beat 1 happen, so 3, 4, 1, and just let it ring. We do that every chord, so. That's the idea each time. So not on beat 1, you're coming on the end of 1. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Move down. One more. down. Okay, and I realized halfway through playing that whenever I play something that I want kind of softer, not so bright, I turn my pick sideways. So I get one that's, instead of playing with the point out, I turn it so I get the rounded part. I just get less of an attack. And sometimes I play around with that a lot if I want that sound or that sound. So you might want to try that. Let's do this one more time, and let's do like a real strummy thing. So this time, let's start low, and I'll just do something like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So try to hear the rhythm and get your right hand going and not worry about the left hand yet, if this rhythm seems a little hard. If you can hear it, you'll be able to play it, but if you overthink it, you'll get kind of tangled up. So the rhythm will be down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, da, 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 da. So my thinking here is let's try something faster to challenge your ability to transition, because playing this strum pattern and playing something more rhythmic, to get that last down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, to get that last thing in there, you're gonna have to hang on the chord probably longer than you want to. And then you're gonna have to figure out how to transition. So let's do this with the track, and let's just start low. I'm not gonna strum real hard. We'll start here, and then we'll go to the 5th fret, and then let's wind up at the 10th fret. So same chords, we'll just cycle through the progression. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Move up. Move up. Okay, so at the end there, when I got up high, I played this A minor here, and then I went to the G, and then D minor F, D minor F, and then I went A minor G. I don't know why, but I wasn't crazy about the way the G sounded going high the first time, so I went A minor, G, D minor F, and then the second time I went A minor, G, D minor F, and then I just repeated that. So I went A minor, G, D minor F, and then I went A minor, G, D minor F, and then I decided I wanted to walk down that last time. So I think I did something like A minor, G, D minor, F, A minor. And I wanted to show you how you can cycle through a progression. You don't have to stay in one neighborhood. There are no rules. You can do whatever you want. But I wanted to show how if you know these neighborhoods and you know where to go, you can move across the neck pretty easily. You don't have to stay trapped in one place. And when you listen to intros of songs, that happens all the time where they might take a chord and play a progression down here like a 1-4-5, move it up, do the same thing, and then move it up. And it sounds like there's a lot going on, or there's like multiple chords going on, but there's not. They're taking a chord and inverting it and moving it across the neck. So that's just something to play around with. The more comfortable you get with these chords, try cycling through a progression and then not staying in one neighborhood, but moving through them. Maybe we'll try a little bit of that in the 12/8 thing that we'll jump into next in the same key. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna start high at this A minor. We've already gone over all these chords, so I'm gonna go A minor, G, and then I'll probably go F, D minor, and then I'm gonna go A minor, G, D minor, F, A minor, G, D. I'm just gonna go up and down. I'm gonna start high, move down, and then work my way back up. And I'm just gonna be looking for these, I'm gonna pass through the neighborhoods, essentially. And we're gonna do this pattern. So we're just gonna be strumming chords all the way. So let's give this a try. You'll see what if you want, just watch it one time through so you kind of get the general concept. You don't have to do what I do. You can move around at your own pace, but I just want to show you how effective this is to move through the neck when you get comfortable and what options it gives you. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I really didn't know what I was going to play. I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants and paying attention to the chord progression and just trying to move around. And there were, a lot of the times when I was in the middle of it playing, it reminded me of some of that like later Red Hot Chili Pepper stuff, those textures that John Frusciante gets where he's just doing that really high repetitive thing. And then the Edge does this a lot too. He uses a lot of delay, but he'll do these really high chimey things. So just play around with it. I thought we would try something new that time, and you could kind of test what you've learned so far and how well you know the neck by how much you can move around. And if you can't move around that much, don't worry about it. But keep that in mind. It's like the idea is to have kind of a fluidity across the neck where you can chase chords down like that. So let's do another one here in 12/8, and then we'll move on to exercise number 7. Okay, so usually we all need some work on our muting, and I'm always a big fan of these chops. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do just those. We're going to do those things so you can practice the mute, so the hit and a quick mute. And remember, if you want, you don't have to do a lot with the right hand. You can, just by relieving the pressure but still touching the string, you don't want to pull all the way off, you'll get a good mute. I'll do the chop, and good way that I tell people about that is like, don't think too much about your arm. Just do this a couple times, and then just kind of drop it on the guitar. That's a good place to be. You don't need to roll your hand. You don't need to do anything weird. Just like a hit. So I'm doing a hit, and then I'm putting my hand down. And I'm releasing the strings. So I'm kind of doing like a double mute because I want to make sure I get a nice, clean hit. And a lot of the times when I'm doing these kind of chops, I'll do like an up. But here that just feels too bright. I want it to be a little darker, so I'm going to hit down. But the hitting up is kind of the normal thing I would do. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to come down here and go, we'll do that 4 times through. And then we'll come down here and go. So we'll get into some arpeggio thing. So I'm just hitting strings. So we're going to hit 4 notes, but the triplet is going to be the first 3 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. So we'll kind of just try a new pattern. And then let's end on the chop. So we're going to go back up high. I might end up here. If you want to just chop here, that's fine. Or if you want to stay down here. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to chop, arpeggio, chop down low. And that's how we'll end it. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4. That's time. Last time. Chop. Okay, so when I started chopping down here, I thought it was okay, but I wasn't crazy about the sound, and I thought it would be more dramatic if I ended higher. So I started working my way up the neck, and then I even got up into here where I think I grabbed this high G. I just thought it would sound better, so I just started making my way back up there. So again, you can use the backing track. You should use the backing track to do really whatever you want to practice this. I'm just trying to lay a bunch of options on you and get you to think about the neck opening up to you now, hopefully, as we start to round out the back half of this. So let's get ready for exercise 7 in a different key. All right, I'll see you in a minute.